Okay, let's talk about how I was able to travel to 35 countries before I graduated from pharmacy school. Someone in my previous video asked me how I managed to come up with my finances and while being a full-time student. And I want to give you a rundown of the world's probably most extensive resume and what my life looked like in order to have a couple of months of travel. So I went to school for 7 years. I went 3 years of undergrad, 4 years of grad for pharmacy school. And I had traveled to 35 countries and I'd spent every summer, almost every winter break and every spring break in another country or in another city. And I was able to do that not because I'm wealthy. I do have the privileges that I earned it, but I do have a good privilege, like where I was born into a middle-class family, passport privilege. I won't deny all of that, but I definitely didn't have it as well as a lot of people think or assume when someone talks about travel. I took out loans to go to pharmacy school. My undergrad was pretty much paid for because I was an RA and I worked and also was on scholarship, and I went to a state school. So tuition was around $8,000 a year at that time. And housing was covered because I was an RA for the most part. And I worked mostly like on average of 4 jobs. I was very strategic. If you take anything away from this video, it is having a strategy and being really smart about it. I wish I was more strategic in like business ways than this. I feel like I was a hustler, but I should have used it to make more money and make my money work for me, but hindsight is 2020. But when I was a college student, I had a job working at a library that was twice a week, and I made money basically to study. So I planned my work days before like an exam day. And so I would basically get paid to study, and I knew I'd be studying anyways. So I would just sit at a library, make sure people are signing in, help with the computer printer problems, and make sure people stay quiet and don't litter and don't eat. And it was like the easiest job. And it was only like 6 to 8 hours a week. Then I was an RA, like I told you, so I got all my room and board covered, and that was such a big expense that my parents would have picked up or I would have taken a loan out for. And I did that for 2 years. So I did that my sophomore and junior year, and that saved me thousands of dollars and was also a huge pivotal moment for me because I was an introvert, and it forced me to do something that I wouldn't have otherwise done. And it led to a lot of great things, a lot of friendships. My ex-boyfriend, actually, I met through that. And honestly, it just allowed me to do a lot of leadership, team building, getting out of my comfort zone. So that was a great job, and it allowed me to get more jobs at school. I was also a tour guide for the university, and that was very strategic and fun to do because I did it in between classes. Like giving a tour takes 45 minutes to an hour, and if I was already on campus and didn't have to study and had to wait for the next class, I would just do that in between classes, and I would make $20 to $25 for one tour. And then I would also get like a bunch of like swag, free meals, invited to things because I was kind of like a leader on campus and, you know, informing other people about why you should go to the school. So it was just really fun, and it was a great community to be around. And I was also in touch with like a lot of faculty, which helped me find out more opportunities, more scholarship things. And I was just really in the know. So that was a great job, easy, you know. Then I worked at Lord & Taylor, which I sold shoes as a commission job. I loved fashion, and I was a girly, so I wanted to buy stuff. I got an impeccable discount, 40% off, but it was commission sales. There was moments where I made $40 to $50 an hour by selling shoes, and that was so great for a college student. That's like what pharmacists make now. Like, that's insane. So I would capitalize on that and be really strategic on when I would work. I would work at that job on weekends when I knew people would be shopping. I also worked at Free People as a stylist because that was my favorite brand and still is my favorite brand. So I'd get discounts on that, and then I would save the rest for, obviously, for travel. I worked music festivals and concerts whenever they would come to my college town. This one was great because I got to attend, and I would work VIP, so I'd get to be at the event at a VIP location, and I would get there before to help with ticketing, to help with setup, to make sure everything was good to go. I would help sometimes with artist relations. One time I was a DJ for a marshmallow event, and that was so crazy because I don't know anything about being a DJ. And then also I took photos 4 marshmallow for guests who had paid for VIP. So I was the girl who would take it. You would come, shake Marshmallow's hand, and I would take a photo. It was such a fun job. I got to go to EDC because of it. I went to Firefly. I worked Mysteryland. I don't know. I went to so many different events and festivals because of that. I worked Hardwell. I worked, I don't know, Chainsmokers or something. And I loved that scene. So I got to go for free. And I got free glamping, free VIP situations, and I got paid a decent amount. I think I got paid like $2,000 for the week, which was so great for me. So I was just really strategic and working. And then because I was a pharmacy student and wanted to become a pharmacist, was thinking about my resume, thinking about long-term plans, I worked at CVS Pharmacy, and that didn't pay well, but it helped me reinforce everything I was learning at school, build a resume. So I did that, and then when I traveled, I also worked. I mentioned that I was an au pair. I would find research grants. I would do Workaway or World Packers, which is basically free accommodations for a couple of hours of work. So I would work at hostels, do receptionist work, make some friends, check people in, watch Netflix, and then I would get a free place to stay and sometimes free food, free trips. Like I would get free wine tours, free snorkeling because I worked at a hostel, so they wanted me to push those activities. I was also a pub crawl tour guide in Spain when I lived there as an au pair. That was super fun. And I'm an introvert, so it was crazy to find all these job opportunities. And I just got obsessed with seeing what I could get for free, what I could get paid for, and how else I could push myself. So that's how I managed my budget and finances as a college student trying to travel. I would work during the school year and I would save all my money. You wouldn't find me at the clubs really. You'd find me hanging out with friends, going to free things, studying. So I would save a lot of money there. I wouldn't be buying a lot of fashion stuff. And if I did, it was discounted because I worked somewhere. So I was just really strategic about that. And then when the summer came around, I found a job abroad, so I could travel. So I would work during the week and then I would go explore. But it was so much fun even working because it was another country and everything was so different. And it wasn't like working at an ice cream shop or like McDonald's in my hometown. Like I did not want to go home after moving out of college. So that is how I managed then. Obviously how I manage now post-grad and as a working professional, it's different. But if you're looking to travel while you're a college student, it's all about your priorities and strategizing. I feel like everything in life comes down to that. So if you're able to work during the school year, do that. If you're able to cut your costs and prioritize what is really important to you, like a summer abroad in Europe over going out to some of those nasty bars, prioritize that. You don't need the newest iPhone. You don't need to keep up with the Joneses and buy the most recent designer bags. Save that money for experiences and memories because your time as a college student is so valuable and you won't have as an adult. You will have 2 weeks of PTO and you won't be able to go anywhere. So save your money, and then when you go on your trip, do it the most scrappy way. Be a backpacker, get a Eurorail, go sleep on trains, do some crazy unhinged stuff for the plot, because once you are a working professional and you get older, you're no longer willing to do any of that stuff. It becomes harder. You get cranky. Jet lag becomes a problem. You don't want to sleep in these uncomfortable situations. You want to level up and stay at nice 5-star hotels and go eat at Michelin star restaurants. So prioritize that and know that your time is now. And find ways. There are so many different ways to save money. If you want to use World Packers, which I recommend if you're willing to work somewhere for a little bit in exchange for accommodation, use the link in my bio to save $10 off your membership. Email hostels and hotels if they want social media coverage, if they want receptionists for like 3 weeks, and trade your time for that if travel is your most important thing that you're looking for. Hopefully this video helped. If you're interested, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I have been creating content for 10 plus years. I just started on YouTube and Now I travel at a different pace and I'm a digital nomad and I like a little bit of luxury and I work a lot more, but I have traveled to 63 countries and I have backpacked most of them and I've done the wildest stuff. So go back, watch my content, and let me know what else you want to know. I'm happy to go back and talk about my past experiences. Actually, I would love for you to ask me about my past experiences because I love talking about the crazy things I did backpacking Africa for 4 months, doing my clinicals in Zimbabwe, spending 6 weeks in Thailand, and living off like $20 a day. It was insane. Let me know, like and subscribe, because if you don't, I will probably not post as much. Anyways, bye.